For 19 days, guests at the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles were drinking their water, brushing their teeth with it, showering in it. Some said it tasted strange. Some said the pressure felt low. On February 19th, 2013, a maintenance worker climbed to the roof to check the water storage tanks. He opened the heavy metal lid of one of the tanks, and he found her, Elisa Lam, 21 years old, floating in the water that 14 floors of hotel guests had been drinking for 19 days. The lid had been closed from the outside. The coroner ruled it accidental. Nobody has ever fully explained how she got in there. This is her story. And it is not what you think it is. Elisa Lam was born in 1991 in Hong Kong. Her family moved to Vancouver, Canada, where she grew up and attended the University of British Columbia. She was studying sociology. She had a Tumblr blog she updated constantly, filled with photographs, book recommendations, thoughts about life, quotes from poets she loved. She was funny, self-aware, thoughtful. She wrote openly about her struggles with bipolar disorder and depression. She didn't hide it. She talked about it like it was part of her story, not the whole story. In January 2013, Elisa planned a solo trip down the California coast, San Diego, Los Angeles, Santa Cruz, San Francisco. She told her parents she'd call them every day. She did, right up until the day she didn't. She visited the San Diego Zoo. She walked through bookstores. She was happy. On January 26th, she arrived in Los Angeles and checked into the Cecil Hotel. She had no idea what that building was. Most tourists didn't. The Cecil Hotel opened in 1924 in downtown Los Angeles. It was built to be grand, elegant, a destination for the wealthy. That didn't last. The Great Depression hit. The neighborhood around it collapsed. The Cecil became something else entirely, a cheap hotel near Skid Row, filled with transients, the mentally ill, the desperate. The deaths started almost immediately. From the 1930s through the 1980s, the Cecil became infamous for suicides and unexplained deaths. People jumped from windows, people were found in their rooms. The hotel logged death after death after death, and then came the guests who were something worse than tragic. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, one of the most terrifying serial killers in American history, lived at the Cecil Hotel in 1985 while he was actively murdering people across Los Angeles. He would return to the hotel after his attacks. He used the communal showers. The water would run red. Other guests noticed. No one said anything. A few years later, Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger checked into the Cecil specifically because Ramirez had lived there. He murdered 3 women during that stay. The Cecil Hotel didn't just attract darkness, it seemed to generate it. Former staff members who worked there between 2007 and 2017 say they witnessed or recorded around 80 deaths. 80 in 10 years. And into this building, on January 26th, 2013, walked Elisa Lam. Her first 2 days at the Cecil were strange. She was placed in a shared room. But her roommates complained about her behavior. She was leaving notes on the door with unusual messages. She required a password for entry. Hotel management moved her to a private room. She kept calling her parents every day. She kept updating her blog. She went to a live taping of the Conan O'Brien show in Burbank. Security asked her to leave for disruptive behavior. On January 31st, 5 days after arriving, Elisa was supposed to check out and leave for Santa Cruz. Her parents waited for her call. It never came. The last person outside the hotel to see Elisa Lam was a bookstore manager named Katie Orphan. Elisa had come in that morning, buying gifts to take home to her family. She was outgoing, very lively, very friendly, Orphan told CNN. She was talking about whether the books would be too heavy to carry. She was planning for the future. Hours later, she was gone. When Elisa didn't call, her parents contacted the LAPD. Police searched the hotel. Dogs searched the roof. Found nothing. For 2 weeks, no trace. Then, on February 13th, 2013, the LAPD released security camera footage from one of the Cecil's elevators. The footage is 2 minutes and 20 seconds long, and it is one of the most disturbing pieces of video most people have ever watched. In it, Elisa gets into the elevator alone. She presses multiple floor buttons. She moves to the corner of the elevator as if hiding from something. She peers carefully around the elevator door into the hallway outside. She steps out, looks left and right, steps back in, peers out again. Her hands move in slow, unusual ways, almost like she's speaking to someone who isn't there, or like she's trying to communicate with something she's seeing that the camera can't capture. The elevator doors stay open for an unusually long time. Then she steps out of frame. The doors close. She's never seen again. The video was posted online and went viral within hours. It got 3 million views in China alone within its first 10 days. People watched it over and over. Experts watched it. Psychologists watched it. Paranormal investigators watched it. Nobody could fully explain what they were seeing. 19 days after Elisa disappeared, hotel guests on the upper floors started noticing things. The water pressure was low. The water from the taps had a strange color, a strange taste. Some guests reported the water smelled unusual. On February 19th, 2013, maintenance worker Santiago Lopez climbed to the roof of the Cecil Hotel to inspect the 4 large water storage tanks that supplied water to the building. He opened the heavy metal lid of the first tank. Inside, floating in the dark water, was Elisa Lam. She had been there for 19 days. The tank was sealed. The lid had been closed from the outside. There was a ladder to access the tank from the outside only. There was no way to open the lid from inside. The coroner's report concluded accidental drowning, bipolar disorder listed as a significant contributing factor. The case was closed, but the questions were just beginning. Here is what the coroner's report does not explain. Question 1. The roof of the Cecil Hotel was locked and alarmed. Security footage showed no one accessing the roof that night. How did Elisa, who had no known connection to the hotel's security system, get to the roof? Question 2. The water storage tanks were 4 feet tall and required climbing an exterior ladder to access from the roof. They weighed heavily. The lids required significant force to open. How did a 21-year-old woman alone in the dark climb the ladder, open the heavy lid, lower herself in, and then close the lid from inside a tank that had no interior handle? Question 3. The LAPD confirmed the elevator in the footage was malfunctioning in the days around Elisa's disappearance. It was stopping at floors on its own. The doors were staying open longer than normal. How does a malfunctioning elevator explain what Elisa was doing inside it? Question 4. Her toxicology report showed no drugs, no alcohol, no substances. She was on her regular prescribed bipolar medication. What explains the behavior in the footage? There is no answer the official report gives to any of these questions. Theory 1. Bipolar episode? Mental health experts who reviewed the footage noted that the behavior Elisa displays, paranoia, unusual hand movements, apparent hallucinations is consistent with a severe manic or psychotic episode associated with bipolar disorder. If Elisa had stopped taking her medication, or if her medication was ineffective, she could have experienced a break from reality that drove her to the roof. This is the most clinically supported theory, but it still doesn't explain the locked lid. Theory 2. Someone else was involved. Some investigators and internet researchers believe someone was with Elisa that she was hiding from, or hiding with, in the elevator footage. The way she peers around the doors, the way she seems to communicate with something off camera, suggests awareness of another presence. No other person was ever identified on the elevator footage. Theory 3. The hotel itself. The Cecil Hotel had a tuberculosis outbreak in the 1950s. A bacteria called Mycobacterium tuberculosis was found in water supplies connected to the building decades later. Some researchers point to a strange detail. A tuberculosis test developed in the 1960s is named the Lam-Elisa test. The same month Elisa disappeared, a tuberculosis outbreak was reported in the Skid Row neighborhood directly outside the Cecil Hotel. The likelihood of this being coincidence is the subject of ongoing debate. Theory 4. The unexplained. Some of the people closest to this case simply say, "We don't know. The evidence is inconsistent. The official answer doesn't fit all of the facts. And until someone provides a complete explanation for the locked lid, this case remains open." Elisa Lam's parents filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Cecil Hotel. In 2015, a judge dismissed it. The hotel argued no one could have foreseen what happened. The judge agreed. There was no trial. There was no accountability. The Cecil Hotel was rebranded, renovated, and reopened. But Elisa's Tumblr blog, still online, is still updated automatically with posts she had scheduled before she died. On certain dates, her words still appear online as if she's still there, somewhere, still trying to tell us something. Elisa Lam was 21 years old. She was buying gifts for her family the morning she died. She wanted the books to not be too heavy to carry. She was thinking about the future. She deserved one. Subscribe to Dark Verdict for a new documentary every week, and leave a comment. Do you believe the official story? Because I'm not sure I do.